Yeah, so
I don't know, just so you have stuff to.
yeah, what's the best pizza you ever had? Ooh.
Oh, that's such a hard question.
We have been to Italy. I feel like all the pizza I've had in Italy kind of meh.
Yeah, it was good.
Like probably because pizza's really Italian American, right?
Yeah.
Although I've read that Naples is the home of like the margarita
like a
pizza.
Neapolitan
Yeah.
pizza.
But really, is it? Ooh, I know what we could talk about.
What?
Chicago style pizza.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Yeah, talk about Lou Malnati's.
Is that where we ate?
Pretty sure.
Not. Okay. I really doubt we have anyone from Chicago watching this.
Oh, maybe. I have tons
But we
of
don't
friends from
know.
Chicago.
We don't know. Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't like it. I don't like deep dish pizza.
I don't think you have to apologize.
Well, I don't want them to.
There's a
I
Giordano's.
I love Chicago. We had an amazing time when we went. When we ate so much good food. And I feel like the pizza was like my least favorite meal. By far. Of all the things we ate.
Wasn't Emily in Paris when they talked about Chicago style pizza?
Yeah, she's like, oh, you must have gone to Lou Malnati's.
Like a cement mixer.
It was like a brick of cement or something.
Giordano's would be the other big name Chicago style.
Is that the one that's here?
Yeah, there's one on 16th,
On 16th Street.
Yeah, there's one on 16th Street. We went there, I think, my first Chicago New Year's. I mean, I like Chicago style pizza. I think it's a lot.
It's
a lot.
too much sauce for me.
It's a lot of sauce.
Okay, what I will say though, that I think it's like kind of adjacent. I really like, and I hadn't had this till last year, Detroit style pizza.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Like-
even realize. I feel like that's becoming a thing. It used to not be a thing.
Well, I think it was a thing in Detroit and in like Michigan because like I know someone from Michigan and they were like really happy that there was a Detroit style pizza place here.
So describe Detroit style pizza.
So it's like a thicker crust, and a lot of times they'll put cheese around the crust, or they'll put a lot of cheese. But really, it's just like thicker, and they bake it more in like a square pan. I don't know. I just think it's really good. Or maybe it's just I've actually really only had Blue Pan Pizza in Denver, but their pizza is delicious.
Oh yeah, Blue Pan is so good.
So good.
I can't remember the name. Was it like Brooklyn Bridge? We ordered like 2 or 3 types of pizza from Blue Pan.
Yeah. The last time, oh no. Well, I was going to say, that was one of the last times we went out to eat before COVID.
Yeah, it was like the weekend before pandemic.
Was last March, and we went with our friends, and it was also the day that I stopped my
Pork fast.
two and a half year
It was a good run.
run of not eating any pork. Because I was like, I just really want pepperoni. Pepperoni sounds good. I'm just gonna.
It's the best
Eat it.
topping. There's not any bad pepper. There's better versions of pepperoni. There's not like, oh, that's gross pepperoni. No one's ever said that.
Yeah, I feel like I never say that.
Yeah, that's
It's
an
just, like,
American,
better
Italian
version.
American as well. That's why pizza is really Italian American.
The pepperoni.
Well, just the pizza as we know it.
Yes.
So I've had margarita pizza in Naples, and it's just like cheese, tomato, marinara.
Yeah.
Also, let's think about the fact that the tomato is a New World vegetable, or is it a fruit? I think tomato is technically a fruit.
Yeah, I think.
Nightshade family. So Galileo ain't eating no Neapolitan, Nepalese pizza.
Maybe he's eating like this version, which is like no sauce.
Yeah. Just some mozzarella, some olives
Toppings.
probably.
Ooh, olives. I'm still thinking, I don't know if I could choose the best pizza I've ever had. That's really hard.
I think my favorite's gotta be just like any side of the road New York
Thin.
pizza. Just a slice from any
Just like
corner of NYC.
Like Sbarro.
Not Sbarro. It's gotta be like a ridge. It's gotta be from the city. But yeah, when we were in New York, January, right before the pandemic, got some pizza and just a couple slices and the grease is just dripping down. I didn't have a plate, so just like dripping down my wrist. It was amazing.
Let's talk about toppings, because that's what we're gonna get to soon. I think one combination that I really like, we actually had this recently, is like this Pueblo style pizza. Should I be looking at the camera? I'm looking at you.
Either way, yeah. I mean, when I've done like 9 News, they're like, look at me. But they're usually, I could go like this.
There we go. Scoot closer. Perfect. So we had this pizza recently, and it's pepperoni and like Italian sausage and green chili. So good.
Oh yeah,
That's
Angelo's.
a good combination.
Angelo, if you're ever in Pueblo, Angelo's Pizza.
Yeah.
I think people take it for. Although Manhattan's is good, as well. I like Manhattan's as well.
A long time ago, it was an Angelo's.
Manhattan's was?
Mm-hmm.
Why did it stop being an Angelo's?
I don't know.
Yeah, I like Manhattan's in Pueblo. Denver, I don't really have a pizza place.
I really do like Blue Pan,
Yeah, Blue Pan's the best pizza place in Denver.
I would say.
As far as New York style, though,
I don't know.
Anthony's, but that's a chain, so I don't want to say Anthony's.
Yeah, I'm up for send us your recommendations for like New York style, Brooklyn style.
Yeah, you got your Detroit style, Giordano's on 16th Street for Chicago style, and then there's got to be a New York style that's not a chain like Anthony's.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony's makes a good slice, but I just
I'm
hate
sure there's
supporting the
somewhere I'm
chain.
just like not thinking of. I don't know.
When we were in high school, we used to, Scotty and I used to go to Anthony's because they first opened that Anthony's off of Bellevue in Santa Fe back when we were in high school. And there was so much grease, Scotty would get a bunch of napkins and soak up all the grease before he would eat his pizza.
I feel like the worst pizza I've had was my high school cafeteria pizza. It was just like not good. It's like very clearly had been frozen, and it had like cornmeal, like a crust. Not like a crust, but like on the bottom, you know?
Gross.
I didn't like it. That was probably the worst pizza.
When I was in middle school, we got Pudge Brothers Pizza, which is like a local Littleton delivery pizza, and they would supply all the pizza for the middle school lunch at Goddard Middle School.
Ooh, nice.
And there became a economy around the pizza crust. People would trade their crusts for other things. So people that weren't so lucky as to get pizza during lunch, I will trade you my crust for
pizza crust.
I will trade you my Pudge Brothers pizza crust for your chips or for doing my homework for $1.50 even.
Wow.
If pizza crust was particularly scarce that day, maybe $2.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
When I was in elementary school, in Pueblo, there's this guy named Dave Feemster who at one point played hockey.
Wait, don't use his last name.
Okay. Well, he's like a famous, like not famous. He's like very well known in Pueblo.
Oh.
But I'll start over. So when I was in elementary school, there was this guy who owned a lot of the Little Caesars franchises in Pueblo.
Pizza.
Yeah, I think he owned all of them or most of them. So there was like 3 or 4. And he was like big at giving back to like the schools and local communities, and so he would always donate pizzas for like pizza parties or like, you know, schools do fun like contests and whatever. And so we ate so much Little Caesars pizza. Like that was like the only kind of pizza we'd ever get for like at school. But then when I was in high school, like I said, the pizza was gross. But we would get Little Caesars breads, like crazy bread.
The crazy bread, yeah.
You could buy that, and I would just like eat that for lunch.
Little
Which
Caesars
is gross when I think about that.
cheese sticks. I actually, you're more of a Little Caesars hater than I am.
I think it's just because I ate it
I don't think
so
it's that much different than a Pizza Hut or anything like that.
No,
but
I
the
think...
cheese bread at Little Caesars
Is that good?
very solid. It's
I've
just
never had
bread with like some garlic butter and then covered with mozzarella.
Sounds good. I think it's because, one, I ate it like so much growing up, or like at parties.
Yeah, because it's the cheapest pizza. So it's like, oh, I have to order 10 pizzas. Am I really going to pay $200 to get decent pizza?
No.
Or am I going to, $50 and get some,
It's like, okay,
edible pizza?
Especially like sleepovers. Like I'm feeding 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why like any
girls,
school
yes, or like school parties.
Yeah.
Little Caesars.
It's like, just be grateful you have pizza, you little brat.
I'll still eat it though. I don't know if there's really a pizza I wouldn't eat.
Pizza by Alfredo. Or
what does he say? Would you rather have a big amount of medium pizza or a small amount of really good pizza?
Small.
This would be funny to cut if you just cut all these like like pizza, like so many pizza things together.
Yeah.
Where you're like Papa John's. And I'm
What's
like,
the fanciest topping you've ever got on a pizza?
Ooh.
Sometimes they get really out of hand. They're like really trying to differentiate themselves as this isn't just regular pizza.
Okay. Several come into my mind. One, I wouldn't call this fancy, but definitely like on the pricier end. There's this brewery in Rio Rancho. Shout out to 505.
ABQ.
ABQ. Called Turtle Mountain, and we used to go there and get pizza.
We went there once.
Yeah, we did go there. Yeah. But I would always get this one that had pine nuts on it. And pine nuts, if you've ever bought pine nuts, are pretty expensive.
More expensive than gold, I would guess.
Probably.
I don't know the price of gold, but I would imagine it's less than pine nuts per pound.
So that's a good one. I feel like fanciest though is at Pizzeria Repubblica. There's that pizza I would get that has, it's like chicken and like Calabrian chilies and fig jam on it. That's probably the fanciest, but that's a really good pizza.
That's a good point. There's not a ton of New York style pizza in Denver, but there's a lot of
like
artisan
wood fire.
Yeah, wood fire artisan style pizza, like personal size.
Like well, that's a chain, but like that's not one over.
There's a lot that we haven't been to too that are around.
Yeah, we'll have to try some.
Colores.
Pizza Colores.
Yeah, Pizza Colores.
But yeah, I feel like the fig.
Yeah, fig jam's pretty. Anything with fig is.
It's a good pizza though.
Is fancy.
Also, that place is fancy because they don't have ranch. I have asked for ranch for my pizza, and they don't have it. And it's kind of embarrassing because I ask every time, and every time they have to say, no, we don't have ranch dressing. And I'm like,
and you've exposed yourself as a plebeian.
As like with my Midwest roots.
Yeah.
I have to have ranch.
Like, excuse me, ma'am, Culver's is just a couple blocks the other way. I think you might be in the wrong spot.
Shut up.
Oh, so I didn't realize you wanted cheese curds once you were done with the pizza.
None of those are insults. I will eat all of those things. Ugh, cheese curds. What about you? What's the fanciest?
I was trying to
pizza
think
topping?
as you were talking. I don't know. I couldn't really. This is kind of a tough question. I think it's probably like, when they sometimes they'll add like a really fancy cut slice of cured meat.
Yeah.
So it's like a capicola, or like whenever I get those like spicy Italian artisan pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
But I generally steer clear of. I feel like pizza's more of a working person
Yeah.
dish.
Yeah.
Any sort of fancy topping is lost in the overall flavor of the pizza anyway. So like every time I order prosciutto on a pizza,
It's kind of a waste.
it's like a waste. I'd rather just eat the prosciutto on its own and really get the flavors.
Oh, have you ever been to a California Pizza Kitchen?
I have not.
We used to eat there sometimes.
I've heard of it.
When I was in Boulder, there was one. But they had a pretty good. It's like a California pizza or something, but it was like chicken and bacon, and then it had arugula and then avocado and then this like, I don't know, balsamic drizzle or something. But it was actually very good.
I feel like at Blue Pan we got some fancy toppings.
I think we got one that had like dolloped ricotta cheese on it.
Yeah, when it's like a fancy cheese sometimes that seems. Although, I wouldn't say maybe fanciest, but the most, not the fanciest, but unique topping is the Pueblo chilies at Angelo's. That's why we had to
So good.
get it when we were down there last week.
I'm tempted. I have some leftover. Excuse me. I have some leftover green chilies.
I feel like if I see green chilies as an option, it's tough for me to not get
It's hard to not get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
It's probably the most Colorado topping that I get. But I wouldn't necessarily call it fancy.
It's unique.
Fancy is when it's like, I feel like I got a pizza one time that had like candied walnuts or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I think. It's like fancy I associate like a negative connotation with. That it's like, oh, you're unnecessarily complicating the pizza.
Yeah, doesn't need to be complicated. And then they're like, oh, for a personal pizza, it'll be like $16. And I'm like, fuck that. Oh, sorry. Edit that out. I say, I don't support that.
Yeah, I would rather $16.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like an excuse for them to be like, oh,
Mark it
it's
up because they sprinkled a little arugula on
And
it.
I'm like, it's still pizza.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah, and that arugula didn't cost $5.
they're like, we have to use it right now because arugula, it's gonna go bad. Oh, other thing. You're gonna have so much pizza footage. It's gonna be hilarious. I feel like you should just like edit like cuts where it's like, oh yeah, oh,
Yeah,
it'd be
it'd
funny.
be fun.
Have you ever eaten at Fargo's?
No, when I think
Is
of
there
Fargo, I
is
think
there one here?
of Francis McDormand. Oh, he got thrown into wood chipper, eh?
Is that a chain? Hold on. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, well, I gotta see if it is a chain. But there's one in Colorado Springs.
Called Fargo's, eh?
Let me see. I think it is just a one-off. Okay, so Fargo's, I really hope some people have been there because it's like an experience. Fargo's there's one in Colorado Springs. It's a pizza place.
It's a bit.
And it's like old saloon themed. So
No, I've definitely not been there.
So, like, saloon, gold rush, western themed. And there's, like, one of those old-timey pianos that plays itself, and your number shows up on this, like, old-timey, like, mirror thing, and there's all this old memorabilia. But the thing that I liked about Fargo's was they had...
It wasn't that?
Aside from all
was
of
it all the
that,
amazing things you just described?
the pepperonis they used were like those little ones.
Oh, the mini peps.
Oh, and they would get like crispy, and it's like a little cup of grease. So good.
That's one
I
thing,
really like those pepperonis.
That's one thing I never understood about Papa John's is their default is pepperoni under the cheese. You have to order pepperoni on top.
Interesting.
Which is like everybody knows pepperoni's better on top. Then you get the little crispy edges and the cup of grease you just described.
Yes. I think you could do a little bit of cheese on top.
Yeah, just to hold it down. So
Yeah.
it doesn't, like,
It's like,
fly away.
yeah, I love me a mini pepperoni, but it's hard to find them at this. I looked for them at the store, but I couldn't find any. We used to, like, if we ever had like a game, like a soccer game in like Colorado Springs, that was like you go and it's cheap. You can
Is it
take
still
all the
there?
kids. Yeah, I think so.
Like,
It says temporarily closed,
that is the worst pizza I think I ever had was Chuck E. Cheese.
but ugh. I can't even remember what a Chuck E. Cheese pizza tastes
Chuck
like.
E. Cheese pizza is terrible. It's probably comparable to whatever sort of cafeteria pizza you were describing.
Yeah. There was not a Chuck E. Cheese in Pueblo, so I only went like 1 or 2 times.
Oh, how sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese is amazing. There's a whole rap band, with Chuck E. Cheese as the lead singer.
Like,
Oh, so you have seen it.
I mean, I'm familiar. I'm familiar with like the concept.
Man. All sorts of mediocre arcade games. You don't really go there for the arcade games. You go there for the show, the giant fuzzy rap band.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think, what's our go-to? We like Domino's.
As far as like cheap,
Like order
Delivery pizza? yeah, Domino's
Domino's.
for sure. Domino's is good because it's not frozen crust. It's hand tossed.
Yeah. I feel like it's always consistently good.
Yeah, Pizza Hut's frozen, so I don't like.
That's what my mom used to
I don't like the pre-frozen. Pizza Hut's always disappointing to me. Papa John's is good, but it's probably overpriced. I feel like Papa John's and Domino's are like the same, but Papa John's is like twice the price.
I feel like Papa John's is like, the crust is very puffy.
Yeah, that's intentional.
Yeah.
When I worked there, you're supposed to do the crust edge to make the crust a little bit bigger. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Papa John's.
I do have one pizza story where it was when we were working at Papa John's, and if you made a mistake on the pizza, then it became a house pizza that we all ate together communally. So we made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
And if it was a house pizza, you put it on the top rack, and then if there was a delivery pizza, you put it on the bottom rack. So
Okay.
But the confusion came when sometimes pickup pizzas would be placed on the top rack as well. So I saw a pizza on the top rack and I was like, oh nice, house pizza. I opened it up, I still remember it was like, I think it was just pineapple. It's like a pineapple pizza.
Like no meat?
No, I think it was just pineapple.
Okay.
And I was like, oh sweet, house pizza. I get the first slice, I take it, and then I go to the bathroom so I could eat it in peace.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to get bothered, or the boss is going to see you and be like, why are you wasting company time eating a slice of pizza? So I would go to the bathroom, and then the person who actually purchased the pineapple pizza shows up for their pickup order, and as is the custom for pickup pizza orders,
you gotta open it, right?
at Papa John's, you have to turn the pizza around and open the box so they could see their
Beautiful pizza.
Beautiful pizza. And I could hear this process happening from the bathroom. And they turn around and they open it up, and obviously a slice is missing, and they immediately blame Tyler, my friend Tyler, who I had gotten a job there. They said, Tyler, Did you eat a slice of this pizza?
Oh no!
As I am comfortably eating the pizza in the bathroom, and I never vouched for it. Sorry, Tyler.
What a bad friend.
Yeah, what was I gonna do? Is tell him I did it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a conundrum.
So he had to take the blame. While I literally at the same time was eating my pizza. It was like, wow, nice. They didn't even suspect me. I was such a good employee.
Tyler must have been already like suspicious.
Yeah,
like they're
yeah,
like
he was
immediately.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Your past deeds follow you, Tyler.
Oh man.
That's probably my best pizza story. We did used to, sometimes there'd be residue dough left over from the dough balls, and we would form them all into a dough hacky sack,
Gross.
and we would hack around the dough.
That's why I'm like, I don't.
We didn't cook it.
I know, still though.
It was the excess dough that you would
Yeah.
have thrown in the trash anyway, but it made for a decent hacky sack.
Speaking of dough, let's check on our dough.
It has risen,
Would we say that's doubled in size?
at least.
Yeah.
It's huge. Is that an hour?
I think it says 10 minutes.
Wow.
I'm gonna take this off.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Bye.
What a cookie discussion.